what I want to look at for a bit is how to play Void Spirit offlane. Let's first check out his skills and what's useful. We have the Aether Remnant, which is his nice disruption. It stays alive for 20 seconds, so you can have 2 to 3 of them down. Like, probably 2. And maybe with an Octarine you can put a third down. So that's kind of nice CC, in a way. It does decent damage, and it pulls people in, so it's basically a stun for 1.6 seconds. It's pretty cool. Then you have Dissimulate, which... when you're mid, you use it to do a lot of damage. Like, if you look at the damage, it does like 340 damage at max. But I feel like when you play it in the offlane, you're probably better off maxing your Q and your Resonant Pulse, your E, because those are more CC oriented and bruiser oriented spells. So I think I'm gonna probably gonna leave this one at 1 point. And then Resonant Pulse, which I think is the big one, is the one where he hits people around him in a radius, 500. I don't know how big that is. We should probably check. And then for every hero he hits, he gets a physical damage barrier, which is quite nice. So let's see how big it is. Okay, so this is decently big. It's not that hard to hit 2 heroes with this. I don't know if you hit any more with that, but that's decent for last hitting as well. So I hope that in lane this is really good.
No longer hidden.
And lastly, we have Dissimulate. Do I need to see anything? Oh, the duration of the barrier is 10 seconds actually. That's quite nice. So with Octarine again, it's almost 100% uptime. So there's not... wait, you can... we'll get to that later, or no. Let's talk about it now. With Ags, you get 2 charges, which is insane, because it stacks. Like, if you just hit something twice, you get more barrier, so it doesn't override it. You get more barrier. Like, see, I have 70 now, 140, 180, 250 to it, and like it... that's pretty nice, right? So you get a base barrier of 40, and then 30 per hit on level 1, and it goes up. So it's pretty nice.
Moving without
Pretty
traveling.
neat. And then it also silences everybody for 2 seconds. So I feel like Resonant Pulse, Aghanim's, is kind of like the thing for an offlane Void Spirit. Because you want more Resonant Pulses to be beefier, and you also want to silence the opponents, because that's kind of like crowd control, right? So I think getting Aghanims is really good. So then the thing would probably be you go in, you Resonant Pulse, and then you go onto the back line and you probably do it again. Oh, I don't have Aghanims. Where is it? And you do it again in the back line, and then, I don't know, you do some shit, and then you use Resonant Pulse. So I think you probably need some type of BKB item. So let's just say BKB. So you... it's probably kind of annoying to BKB and Dissimulate, because then you're BKB whilst you are Dissimulating, and that's kind of... that doesn't feel good. So I guess you preemptively BKB with this guy. Or you probably... you go in, you go on the back line, you get the guys, you hit them a bunch of times. Like, you try to be annoying, and then when BKB's almost done, you hit the Dissimulate to make sure that any effect that's on you is gone. And so you just kind of play the fight like that. And then his shard is kind of whatever, I think. It's nice when there's a lot of summons. Like if there's a Brood Mother, if there's a Wraith King, if there's a Chen. Like anything that has cheap summons that can kind of block your Q, this thing. Then it's nice to get your shard, because then they will... like... obviously this pulls. any unit or whatever. Well, you
The
can't really see
natural
it right now.
course.
Like this. Pulls the unit, but if there's a creep
The mortal way.
or if there's a summon, then it will pull the summon instead. But with Shard, it will ignore that summon, which is very nice indeed. Simulate comp cost well rooted. That's good to know. Comp cost well rooted. So I think that Dispels is the name of the game for this guy. Oh, let's look at his talents before we look at the items, actually. Let's see. So first level, we have either remnant damage or mana regen. I don't know if he needs the mana. I haven't played him, like, at all to know if it's good. I think we're going to look at a couple Dota buff pages in a second, and then I'll know if you need it, yes or no. Like, if 80% of the people pick it, then you probably need it. The 50 Aether Remnant damage also doesn't sound good. It's like one extra level of Aether Remnant damage, and sure, you're always gonna Aether Remnant somebody, but I don't know, 50 damage? It's, like, doesn't seem that good. It's probably magic damage as well, so... Then we have a pretty interesting one on 15. It's Resonant Pulse damage, which is the one we're gonna spam. So you want to take that one. But Remnant provides 475 True Sight. It's going to be super value when there's a Bounty Hunter or a Sand King or whatever. So I think at that moment you'll probably gladly trade the AoE damage for the True Sight. Although, like, I'd rather just buy Dust. Like, 70 damage on Resonant Pulse seems really good. 70, look at that. It's like 2 levels of damage, I feel like. And it does 45 damage every level. So it's almost 2 levels of Resonant Pulse. It does not get upgraded by Axe, that's kind of sad, but you do get 2. So that's quite a bit of damage, especially since it's AoE. And then we have 4 seconds of the Astral Step time, which is probably good. What's the cooldown? Oh, the restore is 18 seconds at level 18. So that would put it all the way down to 14 seconds. That's pretty good. And you have 2 charges as well. And the outer Dissimulate ring, I guess that is good for escaping. But I feel like the Astral Step is also good for escaping. And then it just gives you so much more uptime, especially if you manage to get an Octarine. You just go crazy. Then the last one, Dissimulate roots for 2 seconds. That's kind of nice, but, like, I don't know. I think you have to set up your own Dissimulate for that. Which I've thought about. Like, if you're gonna go Dissimulate, you might want to go Atos, right? So when we're playing Void Spirit, I do wonder what type of items he would need. Well, he's a thingamajig, universal hero. So I was thinking bracers would be good. So maybe 1 or 2 bracers in the laning stage. I don't know how high his base armor is. His base armor is 2.
Leads amongst my brothers.
That
Where
is
they
not
have
good.
Long wished I'd go.
I guess that is because he has Resonant Pulse. So he relies on the Resonant Pulse for his physical defense. Which I think is fair enough. He gets a barrier of... Well, let's say you max it decently. So then you get a 160 or 270 physical barrier, which is okay, but still, I think armor is really value on him. And especially if you're going to buy those stat items, it's also going to be pretty nice. So even though he used to be an intelligence hero, he actually doesn't have that high of an int gain. I was kind of hoping he would have, because that would give him that nice magic resist at the start. Or during the game even. And since he already has kind of a physical barrier, then magic resist is very value on him as well. But we could still make intelligence items on him, of course, such as Shiva's, for example, would be really nice as kind of a defensive item on him, and still, in some aspects, It gives him damage because he's a universal hero. And it also gives him a little bit of crowd control as well. So let's go back to the items. So I'm thinking Bracer. It could be Wraithband for that sweet, sweet armor. Like it literally doubles his base armor. I think in lane you really have to buy a Ring of Protection to just not die from all the right-clicking. It sounds kind of weird, but maybe it's one Wraithband, one Bracer then. Because you still get some stats from the Wraithband. And it's going to be really nice when you hit minute 25. Because you need some kind of armor. Otherwise, I think you go right-click to death by some supports. Like supports that just have a lot of range and just right-click you, like a techies or something. You're going to be pretty sad as Void Spirit. So I think it's one of these items. And then let's talk about the boots. I think it's either threads or just the stats. I don't think it's phase boots. Although it does give you 4 armor, that's quite nice. So it might be phase boots. Because you need to get the armor somehow, but I think you want to go mana boots because Greaves is so good. Gives you the armor you want. And it gives you a Dispel. And Dispel is just really good. But it doesn't give you any stats. So that's 5k down the drain, basically, because you didn't buy any stats. So, to me, it's a little bit up in the air. I think you need an item that gives you armor. So that can be your boots, phase boots. Which is nice, you know, some damage. And 4 armor. But it can also be that Wraithband, Ring of Protection type item. I wonder, do we need Solar Crest? Solar Crest gives him 6 armor, which is nice. It gives him all attributes, which is nice. It gives him movement speed. Okay, it gives him mana regen. Very nice. And it will help you do Roche. It will potentially help you assassinate somebody. Although, if you use it on somebody else, you literally have no armor. You have negative armor. So, I feel like Solar Crest on somebody who's going in most of the time seems kind of bad. If that makes sense. Doesn't seem super good. So I think one of the items we do need to discuss before this, or to give good context, is Echo Saber. This seems like a really good item for him. Because it gives a lot of stats. It gives a lot of stuff that he wants. And you can disassemble it into this Oblivion Staff, which is kind of a whatever item. But you can use the Ogre Club for both a BKB and an Aghanim Scepter. So you can use this Oblivion Staff, make it into an Ogre, Echo Saber, disassemble it, finish your Ags, buy the Ogre Club for your next item, Blacking Bar, make the Echo Saber again, and then disassemble it again when you have the other parts of the Blacking Bar. And so you get a lot of value out of this Oblivion Staff, which is a 1500 item, which gives you some nice stats. And then it continuously gives you this Echo Saber when you are waiting for your bigger item, which is a very nice. So I wonder if Ags into BKB is a good... it's Echo, Ags, BKB, basically, is your build, which means you probably want a Wraithband in the lane, because otherwise you just don't have armor. Or you have a Ring of Protection plus Bracer. I don't know. But you need something to give you armor. Maybe you get phase boots here because you kind of want the armor. The damage is nice, but you want the armor. Yeah, It's kind of difficult, so I feel like Echo is just so good for that reason alone. It's just a good item on him. I don't know if it hits. When you use ultimate, does it put the Echo debuff on people? And does it trigger the Echo Saber? These are two things that are pretty important.
A dark energy.
So let's buy the Echo.
This
Put
is
a
not
dummy
the
target
first
on.
time
And
I
let's
felt
ult.
the effect of this
My
blade.
Echo Saber did not go on cooldown. And it did put the debuff on the guy. So that is good.
Seems promised.
That makes it good. Because I can do... And he's like slowed by both the Astral Step, which is 80% move slow at level 3, but still 40 at 1.
Do you think
And then
I've not seen this?
Echo Saber puts 100% slow, which is basically a root. So if you just do... Oh,
Each
wow.
step taken
If you just click on him...
is a shortcut.
Oh, I sucked. Cool.
Call it a
Cool.
premonition.
You just go on him, and then you put the remnant down. You get it right away. So...
With purple.
Oh, I keep thinking it's like Pango, that you need to like click it and then drag it. But you just need to click where you want to go. So you can do this, but you can also
Why choose
just go
this
on people, put the remnant down, kill them, and then go out again. For that's quite a bit of damage actually. Did I hit him multiple times?
walk the mortal way. There's no
I mean,
manual.
that's quite a bit of damage for no items. That is pretty good. So I think Echo Saber is like a crazy item on this guy.
Could it be otherwise?
I wonder if it works on multiple. If you put another dummy target.
I walk the
and I
hidden path
ult
where
through them?
chase you lead.
Oh, the first one got it, and the second one didn't, I feel like.
The void
I hit it.
path proceeds. Found
Okay, the last one did get it.
you. In preparation. I'm everywhere.
Okay, they both had it, okay. So it works on multiple targets. That's really good.
Yes, there.
So does Blightstone also just
Time
proc?
to
It
shoot.
does. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think Blightstone is good, but maybe Orb of Corrosion can be a decent value item here.
Orb of venom.
It's like 13% on a melee.
Dimensional
Like
core. Strike.
that's pretty nice. I don't know if it's worth it, but it's cool. Obviously it's nice with a Maelstrom or something. Okay, so since this is a universal hero, we need to talk about Atos. Is Atos good on him? I mean, Atos is just a really good item right now, so it does help you catch people. And I think, being the Void Spirit, I think you can buy it. I don't know if you buy it over your Echo, though, or you buy it out. I think you buy it first item if you buy it. Because that probably means your team doesn't have any catch, and you really need catch. So then you buy the Atos, you're running around maybe with phase boots, Windlace, and you can ult in, just use it as a movement option, and then Atos the guy, ult on top of him again, get the Aether Remnant going, and then hopefully your team can catch up. And then after that, after Atos, I think you just go into the normal build of Echo, Aghanims, BKB then. Which, you might notice that it takes a while for you to get your first Dispel item at that moment. Which is why I think Yule's has always been a very preferred item on him. Because it gives him the mana, he likes that. It gave him intelligence, he used to like that a lot more than he does now. It gives him a little bit of movement speed. It gives him that sweet Dispel, plus a setup for his own Q. So Yule's is kind of an Atos, in the sense that it sets up for his Q, but Atos has way more range. So they're about the same cost, but they definitely do something different. Atos gives a lot more beefiness and damage, because he's a universal hero. Whereas Yule's gives a little bit more utility, I feel like. So I would prefer the Rod of Atos. In some games, I guess the Yule's is just very good. But then I'm already kind of looking at a BKB for that cost. Lotus Orb even is interesting to look at, but it doesn't give any stats. Same for Greaves, doesn't give any stats. Manta could be interesting. Where are you at? Manta style. Oh, there it is. So Manta is slightly more expensive than the BKB, but it gives a bunch of stats. Gives you illusions, which I guess is nice. As a universal hero, it is actually nice. And of course, Hex is also very good. I think after BKB, you might just go Hex, because if you get on top of somebody and you Hex them after your standard combo, they just kind of, I think they just kind of die. Like, Hex gives you a lot of damage and infinite mana, basically. And then, of course, you have Octarine, which is also just good on him, because I think he really wants to use his spells and just weave in and out and be super annoying and hard to catch and disruptive. So if he has an Octarine, he can just do that 25% better. But again, it doesn't give any stats, so it feels kind of bad to make, and they also kind of ruined it because you now need 2 Void Stones. So you can't go Mana Boost Vanguard in lane with him, even though that's kind of bad for him anyways, but that's kind of what I'm thinking about is, oh, you really want Octarine Core, but oh, it doesn't really feel good buying unless you're already winning. Kai Sanj also really good, I think, because it gives decent stats and it just gives a lot of stuff that he likes. Status resist, so he's harder to stun lock. Gives some strength and intelligence, which is just nice. Spell Amp is really good for him. And then all the other amp is, I think, nice to have. So he definitely has some options early in the game, but I'm not sure which ones are good. And after you've gone Atos, you can obviously go into Gleipnir. Gives slightly more stats, I think. Slightly. But also some damage, and the active is really nice. So Gleipnir definitely nice for the late game, probably. But I don't know if that's actually one of your 6 slots. Greaves, again, would be so nice, but it's a 5k item, which is kind of rough. It's 1400 gold in a recipe that doesn't give you anything. So I feel like it's really hard to buy on these universal type heroes. I keep not getting... I keep thinking immortal heroes, but that's not a thing. But these universal type heroes kind of don't like Greaves because it doesn't give them anything. Or, like, it's 5k gold into 0 stats, which is just... It's not good. Because they have reduced stat gain, so if you buy stuff without stats, it feels like you're really hurting yourself. So we do see a lot of Atos plus Boots of Travel, because they kind of do, or they kind of make each other stronger. Boots of Travel lets you be at spaces on the map more often. Gives you a lot of movement speed. Holy shit, 90. So you can just be on more spaces on the map, and Atos lets you abuse the fact that you're on more places on the map more often, because that means you catch somebody at a range of 1100. So you can really go like boom, 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 gank somebody top, TP bottom, gank somebody there, which is pretty nice. Witchblade, I feel like, is just not good. He is not an intelligence hero anymore, so I don't think you buy it. Veil of Discord is an all-stat item, but I don't know if it's good. He does rely mostly on spell damage, but it feels kind of like a meme. I don't think it's good. Maybe it is crazy, but I don't know if it's good. 18% increased damage, that is good. I don't know. I guess Vlad is also a thing, gives you the bonus damage, but it also gives armor, but gives 0 stats, 2500 bookers for no stats. Feels bad, man. Journal Shroud might actually be good. Shiva's 15 armor, really good for him. If he has enough health, Tarask is probably an item he wants to pick up at some point. Even though it doesn't give him as much damage as other items might. Like Skadi? I guess Skadi's pretty good for him. Gives him, what, 44 damage? Whereas Tarask only gives him, well, 0.6 of that, so like 35? Yeah, 36, 37-ish damage. Still not bad, but it's definitely not 44 plus. And then you have Dagon, also gives all stat, which is pretty good. So Dagon would give 21 stats, so that's 40 damage? Am I reading that correctly? Is that 40 damage on a Dagon? Wait. I'm not saying Dagon would be good, but it at least is interesting. Because I feel like Dagon is not that expensive.
I am Enai.
Dagon? Oh wait, it's 2800 actually.
Dagon.
Prepare
It's
for
25
battle.
damage. Damn. Or 15 actually. What? It's 15? Am I crazy? I thought it gave 0.6 damage or 0.6 damage per stat. And this is 21 all stat. Right, so it's 15. It's 2 damage per all stat, kind of, and this is 7 all stat. So it's 15 damage. Okay, wait, okay. Glad we checked that out, so I was totally wrong. So Dagon, probably not good on him. I guess it's nice if you, like, get gone on, and then they don't kill you, and then you get your Resonant Pulse, and then you get your Astral Step, and then you get the Dagon active, and then you're probably full HP again. But you can also do that with Greaves. So Dagon probably not good. If your team needs an AC buyer, you can probably buy it, but I don't think he is preferred on Void, since most of his damage is magical. So maybe the Veil is good-ish. Like, he does have a lot of burst, so potentially it's okay. It lasts for 16 seconds, actually. Holy moly. That's quite long. That's a pretty decent item. It gives 5 all stat, so it's about 10 damage. I think 1 strength is like 22 HP, so it's like 100 HP as well. It also gives him some mana regen, which it also gives to your allies, so Veil of Discord. I don't know, actually. Aether Lens, like, it would be nice, but probably not. So let's quickly look at some guides for Void Spirit. Just the most popular one.
I was always watching. Now I lend a hand.
Let's see. So they go no mana regen, actually. Pure damage, and then outer dissimulate and crit. So really for cutting in and out. Core goes threads. I am surprised that they don't go any armor. That seems like a no-brainer to go armor. But this is mid, probably, so. Oh, there's an offlane Void Spirit. Let's look at this one. That seems way more useful. So you go Resonant Pulse, 1 and 3. What's your level 2? Oh, I scrolled down. Lol. So Resonant Pulse, Aether Remnant. That seems fine. Into another Resonant Pulse. Into Dissimulate. And then he just goes more Dissimulate. So just full damage. And then how long does... The pull duration is 1 second. So I don't know. Great defensive tool, which can save you from enemy ganks. You can also use it to push waves, burst certain enemies. By using it, if you position yourself properly, you can get on high grounds, back to safety. So I didn't consider that it's kind of a farming tool, I suppose. If you have max Dissimulate and Resonant Pulse, you can probably one-shot a wave every time. Or to cure creeps in lane, simply to harass the enemy. Damages, yep, that's very nice. Yeah, Aghanim's is good. That's what I think. Works very, very well with Yules. Certain straight line, lol. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe either Remnant to secure range creeps together with the Resonant Pulse. So I thought that you would keep this one low because you don't want damage. But maybe you want damage. I guess that also depends on your 4. If your 4 just is a stun machine, like a Wind Ranger maybe, then Dissimulate is super good because if you just use a Remnant and you get it, or she just gets Shackle Shot, you can just Dissimulate on them and then Remnant, and then you just destroy them. It's so much burst. Okay, interesting. So this one goes Resonant Pulse all the way. Just full Resonant Pulse. Maybe this is a carry thing. And it ignores Dissimulate, see? Okay, so some people do that. And yeah, skipping level 10 talent probably good. Level 10 talent seems kind of meh. Unless you need the mana. The mana seems good. So this one goes the mana. Okay. Interesting. And then early, the offlaner gets a bracer. So I'm kind of thinking you need that armor, bro. I really think you need that armor in some lanes. Quelling Blade, I don't know if you need it if you can just buy stats, like an Iron Branch gives you 2 damage. Magic Wand, super good. And then this seems good. Echo? Like, sure, Manta's, like, all of these items are good, but they're like position 1 items, I feel like. I guess it's nice. I think Lincoln is actually good. I didn't consider that, but Lincoln is nice. Lincoln gives you all stats, and it makes you really hard to get, which you probably want. So Lincoln is definitely a consideration for me. I think Scotty's super good on you. Just makes you tanky, gives you damage, slows everybody, like it's just super good. Yules, it is a good item. Perfect item. Kai Sanch, yeah. I don't know, it feels kind of griefy in the offlane, but... Harpoon, I don't know how much more it gives. Gives you, like, quite a bit more strength and stuff. So it is nice, but it's also 2k extra. I think it's a 1k recipe, actually. That's pretty expensive. Blade Mail, that gives you the 7 armor. That is also nice. Blade Mail might be good. Just super early Blade Mail. In a way, it changes the playstyle of a hero. Maybe early Blade Mail is good. This is kind of like Phase Boots without having to get the Phase Boots. Gives you the damage, gives you the armor. Ooh, maybe Blade Mail. And Blade Mail also kind of helps you be that super annoying in-your-face hero. Because as soon as you think they're going on you and you just press Blade Mail, that's a lot of damage. And then if they wail on you when you have Blade Mail, as soon as you have like Resonant Pulse or Astral Step or something to go on them, like they're already softened up. I like Blade Mail. So Deso is that snowball type item where if you're just crushing your lane, like absolutely destroying the game, then Deso is good, I think. because you just have way more damage and then you just one-shot people. Lotus Orb, I think it's a decent item. I'm not sure when you get it, but if it's a good Lotus Orb game, it's decent. Gives you the armor, gives you all the other stuff you need. BKB is great. Gives you that strength and damage that you want, so I think BKB is just a like second item on him every game almost. I mean, Hex is great. Ags is great. Situational late game tool. Yeah. I think that as well. I think Octarine Core is great, but I think it's better on heroes that have actual stat gain. And since Void Spirit doesn't have that, he's just so squishy. I guess you do get 600 health. That's quite a bit. So it's mostly the damage that you don't get. But you do get, in theory, more damage from the cooldown reduction. So maybe it is kind of nice. Maybe it's like a fourth item. Because, like, you probably are not going for damage anyways when you're Void Spirit. Oh, Aether Remnant decreased by 2 seconds. I didn't think about that. It's kind of nice. So with Axe Shard, you can have 3 Remnants, especially with cooldown reduction. Huh. Yeah, so Deso, Daedalus is definitely that. I'm going to crush the lane item. Nerd, Utility, Void Spirit. Oh, this is an old one, I think. I don't think Witchblade is ever good. Orchid gives 0 stats, actually. Meteor Hammer's kind of funny. Meteor Hammer, maybe. Can you cast it in your thing? Probably not. Yeah, you can just get a Halberd. Halberd would be kind of okay. Like, he doesn't... I don't think you hate building Vlots on Void. Because it gives that 80% bonus damage. Which is super good with Universal Heroes. I don't know, this is kind of weird. Okay, let me look up a quick little guide. Heroes, Void Spirit. So we have 12% in the offlane, and it's not winning. But still, it is being played. Most popular ability build is going Max Resonant Pulse, skipping the Dissimulate, and getting Aether Remnant. So that's kind of what I think we should be doing. And they like Aether Remnant damage, really? What? Okay, it's probably broken then. Outer ring. Oh, this is old. What the hell? Resonant pulse damage? They changed this. Or is there... Did they just... Let me close that. What the hell? That's the bad game. What the hell? I don't know what that... What? Okay, best versus Arc, Shadow Demon, Ancient Apparition, Sniper, Hoodwink, Invoker, Bad Rider, Clockwork, Drow, Mars. Gigabat against Meepo and Chen. Chen? Why is he bad against Chen? I don't know why he's bad against Chen. He's not good against Leshrac. I would assume he's okay against Visage. Not good against Axe, not good against Huskar. Night Stalker, yeah, I can see that. Not good against Ember. Yikes. Damn. Imagine being a spirit hero and your worst matchup is another spirit. Wow. Amar is actually #1 on this hero. That is crazy. Let's just look at Amar's last Void Spirit games. So he goes bracers. Wow, and a Midas. He goes Sanchkaya Static. That was 2 months ago, though. But still. Damn. So he plays it mid mostly. But he also plays it offlane. I mean, this is the guy you want to emulate, right? So damn, what does he do? What does he do? So here he does go Ags. Double Bracer. Super fast Scotty as well. Lincoln here. Oh, that's 11 months, so then still nulls. So let's just look at his recent games. Literally played one today. But it's all middle. So 2 months ago in the offlane. Let's see what he did. He was a random pub. He was in the offlane. He played with a Skyrath mage. He went Echo Manta Heaven's Halberd AC. And he went Resonant Pulse into Aether Remnants. And then he went to Simulate and he... Oh, it doesn't show what he got. Cool. That sucks. Builds, maybe. Maybe it shows it here. Let's check. No, it doesn't show. That sucks. So it went Treads, Echo Manta, which just seems like a I will punch people in the face type of build. And then he went Halberd after that. Jesus Christ. It actually looks like he went Sanchkaya and then, or a Sanjasha and then disassembled it into a Manta and a Halberd, but because they are so close together. Then he went AC, which is interesting. I guess they needed that against crazy Snapfire. So he didn't even get one to simulate value point. I guess you get one if you need it. That's what I would do. I would get one if I need it. And if I don't need it, we just skip it for more Aether Remnant and Resonant Pulses. Damn. This wasn't the height of the Universal Hero abuse, I think, because we have 3 Universal Heroes as their cores. No Vladimir's Offering. Noobs. Vladimir's Offering is so good with Universal Heroes. It's actually insane. And these are all right clickers as well. Like, there's no excuse. There needs to be Vlad's Offering. There just needs to be one. 2 Pavises? Noobs. Although, there's a lot of physical damage here. Oh, and still the broken Medusa. Double Diffusal. Nice. I guess it's okay not to get flats there, but I don't know. Gives 3 armor, bro. It would have been good. My shoulders are killing me. Wait, let me check his build again. Maybe he bought some items that he later sold. So he goes Double Bracer, Stick, Threads, Echo. And then he made a Sanj. Oh, I was right. Sanj and Yasha. Into Manta, into Halberd. Holy shit. Dude. I'm a big boy brain. And then he went AC because the game demanded it. That's cool. So his meme is kind of Sanjkaya or Sanjyosha Satanic, if you look at it. Which is interesting. Did it still dispel? I don't know if it still dispels right now. Learn, like I'm an offlaner. I never buy Satanic. Satanic actually still dispels. That is crazy. That is pretty crazy. That is kind of what you want on Void Spirit. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, maybe that is good. Especially because you get the Sanj. But why don't you just get the Sanj Kaya then? Why would you just get the Sanj and Kaya? That seems way better. Because of all the spellcasting that you want to do anyways. Okay. That's an interesting build to think about. Sanj Kaya Satanic. Because that makes you a beefy boy. Hard to kill. I think there's one thing we need to try. And that is, if you use Satanic and you ult, do you get health? I would assume so.
I suffer the indignities of the mortal plane. Only so long as I last. Satanic. I know the
Prepare
way.
for battle.
You do. Okay. That is pretty good. That's a lot of health.
Proceeds.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well then. I want to see if there's another offlane. Recent offlaner. There you go. Number 17. He played offlane. He went Bracer, Treads, Echo, Manta, Silver Edge, Scotty, Forstaff. And he did Stomp, so that is interesting. So he stomped this Slark. I can imagine that. I kind of like the Silver Edge. Actually gives you... Oh, does it not give you any stats? I don't remember. No, it doesn't. No. Let's see if there's more people that attempted this. It's all mid lane, baby. Okay. So let's go back to that off lane then. He also went Resonant Pulse with Aether Remnants, and he completely disregarded Dissimilate till later. And then he got the Resonant Pulse damage at 15. Damn. 120? No, that's the old one, right? And then Aether Remnant. Yeah, okay, it's a little bugged. This is the 15 talent. It should be 70 damage. Now 50 Remnant damage, which... So apparently you don't need the mana. Outer Ring, Astral Step. So I'm seeing a lot of Outer Ring. Which is kind of crazy. Because I feel like the Astral Step charge restore time is cool. But I guess it doesn't help you in a fight. Like, when you use the first one, you need the fight to last 14 seconds for it to matter, whereas the outer dissimulate ring will always matter. So I guess that does make it a good 20 talent. Okay, so I think we're ready to try this, but I do need to think what are my starting items?
I am the void and the spirit.
So
A voidful procession.
early on, depending on the
Prepare
lane,
for
you can
battle.
either go the stick route or you go bracers. Like you go this,
This is a
you go.
strange land, to be sure.
You'll get at least one bracer. I think you want to go a ring of protection, or let's just go wraithband. So we'll go wraithband, bracer for the 2 armor, which will later be 4 armor, which I think is really good.
Do
So
I
we'll go
choose
these
this
as the
path,
starting
or
items.
does it choose me?
Then we'll get a
Soon
stick,
my power
another more
will
all
be enough.
stats, and then I've seen a lot of threads,
Power
threads,
threads.
which does seem good.
With purpose.
And then it kind of depends.
Seems promising.
So then we either go Atos if we really need it. Probably Echo though. I think
This
Echo is just
not
most
the
straight up
first
good.
time I felt
You
the
just go
heft of always
boom, 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 boom.
welcome respite.
Get wrecked, you know, like
Yes, there.
you can just go crazy on him. I have no clue how his spells work, by the way, so we're in for some nice
walk.
memes.
Swipe in vain.
Well, let me try the. How much damage do I do increase? It's not that much, but it's nice later in the game, I guess.
Moving without traveling.
We can probably use this to farm a resonant pulse, but 130 mana is quite expensive.
I do
So
not
I wonder if we
hesitate.
have enough, but if we use the threat swapping, we should be okay.
It was always
And then
so.
I want to go Ags. But the Satanic seems good as well. Like, I am tempted to go Satanic over BKB. Because even though I think BKB is super good, or maybe both. Like, these are just so good.
Call it a premonition.
Like, at some point, your inventory will look like this. And then I guess I get a BKB?
Black King Bar.
Is that...
The face of the void's secret paths known only to me.
I wouldn't dissimulate, but I just
You
click all my buttons.
are nothing.
And you can just kill, 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 kill.
An echo
I'm out.
from the void. My preferred pathway.
So that would be the nicest, just having a
I
BKB
must be attentive.
to help you with that problem of
Other options
getting
are
focused
mere
down.
illusion. The easy way. It's probably the only way to travel. Travel. I must probably the easy way.
that does feel good.
Could it be otherwise? Do you think I've not seen this?
And then when do you get Ags? I want to get Ags. I think Ags is so good. So I think BKB Ags is just so good then. Where you now have BKB, you used your Echo, right? Disassemble, disassemble. And then you do it again for the Ags. I guess you sell the
This is a great
bracer or the
move.
magic one probably. Because these are now probably good because 25 minutes.
I know
So you
the way.
sell the wand. Then you have the Echo, the Aghanim, so you can like do the double.
My element.
So you kind of like, you go in, oh, you go in, oh,
Look here.
and then you can still BKB like.
In
I just think it's so
preparation.
good as an offlaner. It's just so good. You AOE silence everybody for 2 seconds. I think that's really
natural
good.
course.
And then after that, it's kind of like,
I walk the hidden path.
what does your team need? What do you need? I guess Satanic is really good for staying alive. Like Satanic, what does it do? It gives me
Satanic.
about 400 HP. Slightly more, 500 HP. It's pretty good. And it gives me an unholy good... Let me see how much damage do I do right now. It's about 325. And now it's about 350. 360. 360. So it gives me like 25 plus 66% of 25. I hate math. It's like 18 or something, 17, I don't know. No, it should be 777, so 14, 15. About 15 damage. It's like about 40 damage, I think. Should be about 40 damage. Yeah.
The void path proceeds.
And if you activate it and you still have your ultimate, you are back up to full HP.
No longer hidden.
Which does seem really good. Like, that seems pretty good. Like, somebody goes on you, and you just Satanic... I barely see any effect. And then you... Is yoink! And you're full HP again.
No.
Right? But Manta would also be very good.
Test my patience.
Look at that! Just full HP. Boom! That is good. That's just
Never a
good.
false step.
That's straight up good. I do kind of wonder how much damage we do approximately.
The void
Because this is
path
kind of like
proceeds.
peak damage. Boom.
There's nowhere to run.
So that's about 600 damage.
The shadow that bathes me.
Oh. I did it too early, I think.
Without traveling. Efforts.
That's pretty good.
Manual relocation.
Pretty good burst. So, I don't know. It feels kind of griefy to go the Satanic. Maybe you just want to go
Shiva's
Shiva's.
guard.
But I think that is the core that I want to try. Go Echo, disassemble into BKB, Echo again, disassemble into Aghanim Scepter, back to Echo again. For the super slow on the Echo, and just the mana's nice. And the stats are nice.
Do I choose this path?
And then what you
or
need
does it
after,
choose me?
I am not sure. It could be an Octarine, it could be a Shiva's. I think honestly, it should be a Hex. From the offlaner, it should be a Hex, right?
I walk.
And you just go in and you Hex the guy? That seems super good.
Do you think that
I don't think you ever
could it be otherwise?
dissimulate anymore later, right? Because you just want to punch people in the face. It does do 340 damage, but oh well.
The natural course.
I guess it's nice for damage when you first upgrade it,
Each step taken.
but after that you probably have enough like right-click damage. Look at this. I have like 300 right-clicking damage from just buying items that don't even really do damage.
It seems promised.
Okay. I think that's going to be it for my Void Spirit. I'm going to try and think about that Blade
I
Mail,
was
though. I
always
think getting the
watching.
Blade Mail
Now I lend a
could be
hand.
really nice on him. In some games. Like if there's like a Wind Ranger or some shit, I don't know. Probably. If they're just really good at catching you, it might be good. I don't know. I need to think about it. Okay. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next Theorycraft.